before. Okay, so here is a link to YouTube that shows how to run a linear regression with an Excel. So really we're looking at, the question is, what factors impact systolic and diastolic blood pressure? Like what does weight or age or gender, does that play a role? Specifically for this linear regression, we need to have continuous data points. So gender is not going to be something we test out because you just get ones or twos. So that's a categorical data, right? So instead, you're going to be looking at the impact of, again, what is weight and age on systolic, and then you're going to do it again and do what is age and weight on diastolic blood pressure. So that's the exercise. And the one table that you have on there that shows your coefficient, standard error, t-score, and significance, that, and I'm pointing at my own screen here, you can't see it, that's what you're looking to replicate. So
Where's that? What was that?
what's that?
You said, what was that? Where was that chart at? You said we're trying to replicate?
Oh, that's in your intro to regression analysis, that document that's on week 5.
All right.
Yeah, so that's on page 9. At the very top, there is a chart. The other thing you can do, I mean, they provide a lot of histograms on there. Sometimes that helps to just visualize it, but that's not what is needed for this particular data analysis. It's
Okay.
just really what is most predictive, because that is what a linear regression does. It's beyond just a correlation saying these two are related. When you stack variables in a regression, it's really saying which of these takes the bulk of the share of covariance in this dependent variable moving, right? And so is it going to be weight or is it going to be age that's more significant?
Okay.
So
have you read the previous assignments? Have you graded them yet?
oh, let me pull that up.
I was just seeing if, we're kind of on par with what you're wanting,
yeah.
from last week.
Well, the data analysis for week 2 was graded. I don't have everyone's data analysis for week 4. Can't speak. Somehow I didn't get everybody's for that one. I think folks are probably just still working on it, but let me just pull up yours real quick. Oh, shoot. Is someone trying to get in the Zoom?
It's probably me. I jumped out and jumped back in. Let me see, there's a chat. Oh,
I'm not seeing anybody else coming in.
yeah, I thought, I went over to another screen, so it might have showed me as trying to get back in.
It's Charlotte Brown.
Oh, hang on, Charlotte's calling. Hey. Hello? We're in.
Okay, hold on. I'll text you again the link.
Hang on, Dr. Wool was gonna text you the link right now. Okay, bye.
I mean, I'm gonna try. I don't know why that's.
I just I took the week 4, the email you sent on Wednesday, where it had the YouTube, then down underneath that it had the meeting ID and passcode. Let me text those to her.
Well, I sent a text. Hopefully this works.
Okay.
We'll have to see if that works for her. Oh yeah, so let's see if I can get yours to work. I don't know what's going on with Sakai. Oh yeah, there's her. Like Charlotte's assignment, I could read very clearly, but yours is not loading.
go back
I
and,
think she was in. She's joining, it says. Still joining.
and Lindsay just texted and said she's gonna jump in here in a second too.
Hey.
Hey,
Hey, how's it going?
good.
Good. So we were just chatting a little bit about what's to come, and the regression assignment. I think
Yeah.
I actually have,
I don't know why the two of me.
yeah, I was just gonna say there's two of you. I don't know why.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Okay, so yes, I'm reviewing the data analysis 4. Ron, if you could email it to me again, I think you either copied it, like I'm viewing it. Let's see if this will work.
You talking about the one that we just did?
The one you just did, yeah. So yours I could see clearly, Charlotte. Okay, here's yours. Okay, yeah, that looks
Did
good.
I do it right?
Yeah, you both did it right.
Okay, great.
For some reason, though, Sakai didn't like yours, Ron, so it was like not working. So I had to copy it over. But yeah, that looks good. You guys are very much on the right track. Keep doing that again. It's the same as data analysis number 2. I do need to review the lit review for everyone. Again, I'm missing one, but we'll get that reviewed and I'll get feedback to you guys this week. My suspicion is you guys are all on the right track. You kind of know what you're doing again. Don't panic. I had a really good question actually from Jacob about the Turnitin score. If your Turnitin score seems high, I am aware that you are likely reusing some of the writing you've done before. And so
Right.
if that gets flagged, I'm not stressed out about it. I'm thinking at this point, at this level, it would not help you to be plagiarizing material. So I'm thinking it's just, showing up that it's the same as a past assignment. So yeah.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, the data analysis 5, the goal is to, again, figure out which is most predictive between two factors as it relates to a dependent variable. So that's what all linear regression is, right? And so in this particular example, it is weight and age and how that impacts blood pressure, right? And it's the two
Okay.
reading of blood pressure, systolic and diastolic. So those two are what get, that's what we're comparing, right? And we're trying to see, do we have impact? Now, again, we have gender, but we cannot utilize gender as a predictor because it is a categorical variable rather than continuous. If I was, however, curious about that, you would do the same thing you did with the t-test last week, right? You would end
Okay.
up sorting your data and then do what is age and weight as it relates to systolic for men, and what is age and weight for systolic for women. And you would see if there's a difference there and how significant they were. Another thing you could do is there a significant difference between the weights of women and men? Or is there a significant difference in blood pressure reading between men and women? So there's a few different ways that if you were interested in gender, you certainly could ask questions of it. But for the purpose of this assignment, we are not doing that. We're just doing the linear regression. And then I put in the chat, now Charlotte, can you see what's in the chat, even though I wrote it earlier?
No.
Okay, I'm just gonna copy it and add it again, right here. So this is a YouTube tutorial that shows you point and click how to do a linear regression in Excel. It's gonna
Okay.
look really similar to our t-test. You're gonna go into your data analysis section of Excel, and you're gonna scroll down till you get to regression. There's only one button for it. Click regression, and then you're gonna have your Y variable and an X variable. So we just need to remember that the Y variables, those are the independent variable, right? So in this case, it would be age and weight. The dependent variable is your X variable. That's going to be the systolic blood pressure or diastolic blood pressure, depending on which one you're doing.
Okay.
And then
So you said I'm gonna go into the data analysis and go to what again? Regression?
regression. Mhm.
Okay.
You should have a button that says regression.
Yes, I see that.
Yep. And then you'll see a screen will pop up
Mm-hmm.
that'll say input Y range. That's the variables you're doing for the Y range. And then
Okay.
input for the X range, same thing. That's going to be for the systolic. And then you want to keep it at 95% confidence. I don't actually think you can even change that. I mean, you'd have to click on it first. So everyone should have 95% confidence. And then you're going to click OK.
Hold on, I didn't sort it. I forgot you said do we have to sort it?
You do not. No, I was saying if you're
Oh,
interested in
wait.
comparing men and women, then yes. If you are
Okay,
not,
so
then no.
systolic go in the Y you said.
Systolic goes into X because that's your dependent variable.
Okay, I did the wrong thing. Hold on. I did it backwards. Okay. Oh, 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 why is it? Oh,
Is it acting funky?
yeah. It was my fingers acting too wobbly. So I'm going all the way down from number 2 all the way down to,
And it's like 9,100 and something. It's a big data set.
okay. I went down to, I'm almost there.
Can you share your screen like you did last week?
Uh-huh.
What was that?
Can you share your screen like you did last week?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I got that. Uh-oh. And then do, uh-oh. And
I'm
do
just backing
this
up so
one.
you can see.
Doesn't matter if I go down and up. Can I go from the bottom up to the top? Oh,
Yeah.
no. Okay.
And actually, now that I look at it, this is sorted by gender because all the ones are at, and see now we've got all,
Uh-huh. And then all the 2s are down the bottom.
yeah.
I was just making sure the order didn't matter. Because I went all the way down to the bottom, then I just wanted to go all the way up to.
Oh, that's what I did wrong. You can have labels or not, either way.
Right. And so we do that, but it's almost the same, just like the other one that we did the last time.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And here I
I'm
can,
looking at you on the phone and I got this on the computer so I could do them both. I didn't bring both my computers to the on this trip with me. I just brought one.
yeah, I
But
think
it's so
just, there's Lindsay.
it's just taking long. Maybe I'm gonna stop right here. Hold on, I'm just gonna cancel it out.
Hello.
Go ahead. Go. Let me see.
Good to see you.
Guys, I'm sorry to jump in right in the middle of this, but I will say I'm also sorry that I've been silent on the discussions. I'm going to catch up this week. We've had, well, you knew I was in South Korea,
Yeah.
but then part of our team is in Lebanon and everything that's going on in Lebanon. So that's what the Zoom call was about. I just hung up with. There's currently ground invasion is starting right now.
Oh,
And
wow.
then one of my dear Young Life girls that has been to camp, she's like multiple times, was shot.
Oh,
So she's fine. It was in the leg, but it was like 4 times. And So I had to go to the hospital yesterday. So it's just been very crazy.
So you're in Lebanon right now?
No, no, no.
No.
I'm back in Tennessee.
You're back in Tennessee.
I was in
Praise the
South
Lord.
Korea, but I'm back in Tennessee now. I'm not in Lebanon, but our team, like a team that I work with is.
Got it.
Oh,
How are things for you in Tennessee? The flooding, how's that going?
I know, so crazy. Fine here. We are on the lake, and so it's starting like our dock's underwater, but everything's fine where we are.
Okay.
So nothing dangerous and nothing other than, you know, Wi-Fi out and that kind of stuff. But
Scary still. Ugh. I know, seeing especially like in the Smokies, it seems like some of the connecting highways between Tennessee and North Carolina have really just fallen, right? Like destroyed.
yes, some bridges have collapsed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's why we're on the lake and they let the dam out. So our dam didn't, but yeah, it's raising up a lot. So it
Wow.
is
Well,
crazy,
I'm
but it's good to see you guys.
good to see you. I'm glad you guys are okay. So we're going over a little bit of the data analysis 5.3. I want to make sure that you can also see it. Oh, actually, there's a good way for me to do that. This is let's see if I can get the video to show. Can you guys still see my screen?
yes.
Okay, this is the example that I just sent to everyone in the chat on how to do the linear regression. Again, it walks you through that same part right here. They actually do a scatter plot. You do not need to do the scatter plot. I just wanted to, well, yeah, definitely don't need to do that. But over here, again, they're spending a lot of time on the plot. I want to get to the table. Oh, so maybe this is a terrible one. The table is just at the very end. We don't really care about that. So we'll need to find a better one. There may be a couple of others. This is a better one. So once you go through, it'll walk you through again.
When he plays dumb on Project 2025.
This is not me trying to be political. This is YouTube. Sorry.
It really is their plan, and it's dangerous to women.
Being that I'm in Michigan, we get these a lot, right? You guys are probably not in swing states?
No.
I went and visited Pennsylvania and there was more ads for the presidential election that I saw while I was there in 3 days than I've seen total in Texas since it all started. So, yeah, they kind of know which way Texas is going to go and California. And so, yeah, they're messing with Michigan.
Yeah, no, that's been a real problem of just, I teach another class here at Calvin, and I cannot get any of my typical YouTube clips, like when I'm talking about different aspects of psychology, without there being political ads. And I'm just like, and it'll be either one, right? Like it's just
Yeah.
force feeding it all. And I'm like, I don't want this class to be about this. At any rate, you can go through and visit and some of these sites. You can search on YouTube again, depending on what you have. You can go ahead and do a scatter plot. Like I said, you could insert it and see what is the relationship between those. You do not need to, though. I mean, it walks you through on this one how to do it. I'm far more interested in you guys actually running through and getting this data. This is what we want. So this bottom one, especially the coefficient score, that is the same as what you guys have in the handout. And it is showing what is the F statistics, the T statistics, is it significant or not? Okay, so this will walk you through as well. And I'll add this in the chat so that you guys can see it. But again, as you saw, can I add it in the chat? Yes. There we go.
That's the YouTube link you want us to go to?
Yep, that's a YouTube link, just so you guys see it. Because again, I know through this format, we go fairly
Okay.
quickly. So I sometimes watching a few YouTube clips on how they do
You
it.
went blank. I can't hear you.
Sorry, my bad.
Five variables.
You can't hear me?
Stop it.
What is five variables?
I can't hear you guys. Oh no.
We
Julie,
can hear you.
we can hear
I
you.
can hear you guys now. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry. I opened it and it's just started automatically.
Oh, it's okay. But this will be key. It's going into the data analysis toolbox right here, selecting regression, clicking OK, and then selecting the data that you want to analyze. Again, systolic right here, that is going to be your X, right? Because that is what we're actually testing, the systolic blood pressure. That is what we are trying to predict. How high is that blood pressure value going to be? And the Y ends up being, and I'm like making a mess of this here, but will be age and weight, because those are the other two. Those are what are predicting. So we're trying to see if they have an impact. So you're going to do that first, then you're going to do it again. But this time, instead of having this in here, systolic, you're going to have diastolic. And again, it's going to be the same to Y, which are your predictive variables, which is age and weight. Okay, you end up getting, since you have to scroll so far down, because it's like 9,000 something. But this is
9,179. I
yeah.
just typed it in. It was taking too long to get to it.
Yeah, exactly. You can certainly do that. And then this is what you'll get. This is the same box. So this one here, I just wrote in age, and then you would write in same thing, weight, once you run through weight. Okay.
Okay, so wait a minute. What's the one up the top? Mine doesn't look like yours. Mine says my numbers are different.
Do we have the same variables, age and systolic?
No, I don't have that second one. I'm talking about up the top part, the regression stats. That stuff is not the same.
This?
Mine says something different.
Okay, well, this will all depend on how you ran your regression. If you use systolic and if you use age, did you use something else? Did you use weight?
Oh, no. Ooh, no, I must have did it wrong. I put X systolic and then Y diastolic. I wasn't supposed to do that.
No.
Okay.
And here's why. Because those are not going to be predictive of each other. That's the outcome, right? They want to know, essentially, think of a medical doctor. A medical doctor is asking, what leads to people having high blood pressure, right? What are factors involved with high blood pressure? And their hypothesis is it going to be weight, or is it age, or is it both, right?
Okay.
So good question, good clarification. So these two here, age and weight, those are our predictive variable. That's what we're asking ourselves. Does that have an impact on blood pressure? But blood pressure is made up of two values, right? Your first value, like if you're 120 over 80, right?
Okay.
And those, and again, I'm not a medical doctor, but they represent something else in terms of your health outcomes. And so that's why then there's a prediction for each of those. Does that make sense a little bit?
It does.
Okay.
Okay, so hold on.
So then once you have your analysis, the interpretation is pretty straightforward, right? Does it have an impact? Is it significant? Meaning, if somebody weighs, I'm going to pick outrageous numbers here for the sake of argument, but if someone weighs 500 pounds, do they have a massively high systolic blood pressure, meaning 180 over 110, right? At which point, high weight is a predictor of high blood pressure. Or do I see, oh, somebody has a normal weight, right? Maybe they weigh 200, let's say, right? But they are 85. Then is age then a contributing factor to blood pressure? So that's what you'll work through.
Okay, so one more time, I want to make sure I got this right because you guys are freezing and cutting in and out. I guess I have a bad connection in here. So you said when I run the analysis, I'll put systolic in the X factor.
Yes.
And then age in the Y factor?
Age and weight, yeah. I think you can put them both together by using the colon. I'm going to double check on that and send you guys also, because it's acting weird when I'm doing the analysis here live. I don't quite know if it's just requiring more juice. But I'll send you guys another video that has for multiple independent variables so that you guys can see how to do that.
Okay, so
But
I
you've
can
got
do
the
for
right idea.
age.
So those age and weight and how it's predicting systolic, and then age and weight and how it's predicting diastolic.
Guys, in this video, I'm going to show you a very quick way to
Sorry.
Okay.
But when I do dystolic, I'll put that column D in the Y on the
No, that'll be
or
your,
what that'll be my X again. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so give it a go and then I'll see about finding you guys additional resources. Again, it's gonna give you the slope, which is your regression value, which shows how related the two are together. That's another way to think about it. But you don't have to go through and plot out a histogram. You can, you do not need to. And if you wanted to do that, that would be through insert, and then you do here like a scatter plot, right? And that's how
Okay.
you would see the relationship between the two. And that's how you would be able to see, does it have a positive relationship? So kind of, we're using correlational data or language, I should say. Like as one variable goes up, does the other one go up? Now let's use real words. As your weight goes up, does your blood pressure also go up, right? Or as your blood pressure, as your age
Your
goes
weight
up,
goes
does your blood pressure go down? Like that would be a negative relationship, so it'd be angled the other way, depending on which way you're doing it. So a scatter plot can make it really obvious visually, but you do not need to include that if you don't want to. I think I was telling Ron earlier that specific intro to regression also has a lot of histograms that shows a frequency of average age and average weight. If you want to do that, you can, you don't need to. Really, I want you guys to grasp, what does it mean when there's predictive variables that are independent, predicting and a dependent variable, right? How can I tell, like what are the numbers? Where's the significance? How do I identify that? That's the main goal.
Okay.
Shoot, the 10-minute marker for Zoom just went.
Hmm.
Any other, here, let me stop sharing here. Any other questions that can be helpful with while we're all on the phone?
I had a simple question. I mean, I just copied and pasted before, but when we was doing the video on your video last week, you clicked. So for instance, you wanted A. You see how you can click A and B because they're right next to each other. But if I wanted to do A and C,
Yeah.
and they're for instance, let's use this one. C. If I wanted to do C and E,
Yeah.
how do I highlight both of those, because I wasn't able to do that.
Okay, so if you're saying A, and now you want to
No,
highlight.
not A. I meant to say, because you said, yes, I'm doing A, because you said age.
Yeah.
I'm trying to highlight A and C and E all together, but without moving those around, how do I do that?
Well, you can move them around. That's step one. You could definitely do that. But if you hold the control button before you click, it'll select that one.
Okay.
You see that?
Yeah.
The same way that I could do B and then hold the control button and go to diastolic.
Okay. Yeah, because I couldn't figure that out. I was like, how did she do that?
Hey, Char,
Magic.
also, when you get stuck with stuff like that, you can just open up Google and say, on an Excel document, how do I select two columns that are not right next to each other?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
something like that. And it'll usually like tell you, because I don't know all those shortcuts either.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm frequently just Googling and it just tells me.
I will also say that the little light bulb in Excel can be very useful. If you go in and type your question in there,
Okay.
there's a little light bulb at the top, kind of on the right-hand side that says, tell me what you want to do. You can actually type that in. That can be pretty helpful too, and link you to additional sites for additional information.
Okay.
Clippy.
So briefly, just in the next couple minutes, just wanted to make sure you guys were on track for the next part of our paper. So since we finished the literature review, we're kind of switching gears now to write a mock and brief methodology chapter. So the first thing, and again, there's going to be assignments this week. Let me pull up what I have, because you guys have just an email assignment to me this week to talk about, I think, your sample size. Let me just, okay, so yeah, 5.3 methods and survey. So I write here, now that your literature review is complete, you'll begin writing the methods section, which will include who or what group you would like to measure and with what tool you'll be doing the measuring. I'd like everyone to use at least 2 surveys or questionnaires to measure their variable. You can do a search to see what's empirically supported, la 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 la. So for that email assignment, look over specifically based on your study, what would be a survey? You are not creating the survey. There's definitely not enough time to do that. But what would be a survey that already exists that would be good to assess what you're curious about? Okay, so find a couple of them and you can just write me an email about it. So that you start thinking about that, because that's going to be a section of the next part of the paper that we need to include. But you also need to start thinking, who are my participants, right? Who is my sample size and how will I recruit them? And this is a good practice for when you go through your actual dissertation, is that you need to be ultra clear. Who is it you're looking for? So if I'm interested in the pastoral experience within the first 5 years, guess what, gang? I'm not interested in a pastor who's been in the ministry for 6+ years. That would be an exclusion criteria. If I'm looking at just the first 5 years, that's all I'm interested in, okay? And maybe I think 6 months out, that's not really gonna do it. So maybe I make a requirement that it's at least 1 year, no greater than 5 years. So narrowing it down and knowing precisely what is the scope of who you're looking for is gonna be important. Next to that, you'll also have to think, how will I recruit my folks, right? Am I gonna talk to, if I'm interested in college students of any major, just a first year experience, then I could talk to, let's say, an admissions counselor, or I can talk to a mandatory class that all freshmen have to take, reach out to those professors and send them a link to my survey so that all of those individuals have an opportunity to participate in my study, right? So again, you want to be clear as to your inclusion criteria, your exclusion criteria, and your recruitment method, okay? So that's the part on your sample, how are you getting your participants? The next section is exactly that, it's surveys and measurements. So what is the survey you'll use, right? Again, we're not running this study, but what would be an interesting survey? So you're going to describe what the survey is, how many questions it has, and has it been validated and shown to be reliable through peer-reviewed research? In other words, Uncle Bob didn't decide that he knew all about self-efficacy and leadership self-talk and wrote a little assessment. Like, we're not interested in that. We want something that is a gold standard within your research interest. The last section, let me just finish real quick. The last section, that what you're submitting for week 7 is your planned statistical analyses, which will be like literally maybe 2 sentences. It'll be, once I have all the data, I will be doing a correlational analysis to see the relationship between these 2 variables. Or I will be doing a t-test to see the difference in means between these 2 groups as we measure leadership skills, making stuff up. Okay, yeah, Charlotte.
I want to say, so for instance, for mine, I'm doing the pastoral spouses
Yep.
stuff. So could I do the adverse childhood experiences, like the ACEs questionnaire,
Yeah.
for instance? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And
Okay.
again, this week, my email assignment, so to speak, you're not earning points, but it's to start that conversation. Email me your thoughts on those surveys that you're thinking of using so that I can point you in the right direction if that's going to work or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when we find that survey, then are we going into like the Johnson Library and looking for that has already been completed and has all of the data that we will use?
So we're not using any data, right? We're just trying to identify a survey that we could use should we be running the study.
Got it. Okay.
So
Okay.
it's really going to be, if you look back at your literature review, if anybody else did a similar study and maybe they just use a different participant pool, you could go
Mhm.
back and see what did they survey, like what survey did they use? That might be a good one. Or if you look
Right.
through the literature and you're like, spiritual formation, there's one classically used survey questionnaire by all main researchers. This is the gold standard. You might want to use the gold standard. Yeah. Again, this is a practice, like we're not running it, we're not getting data, it's just working through the motion of doing a mock dissertation from a quantitative standpoint. Yeah. All right, there's only 1 minute, it's about to kick us out, so email me your questions, let me know if you need anything else from me. I'm gonna upload this on YouTube like I did before and send you guys the info. If you guys would like to meet again later this week or next week, we can certainly do that. And we could just go from there.
We do next Monday again?
What's that?
Next Monday, same time?
Yeah, we could do next Monday, same time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
It's my warm milk and fuzzy slippers, so.
I don't think I've ever gotten such a compliment there, Ron. Thank you.
Yes, I'll be back home. I'm still out. Yeah, I'm out of town, so
No
I
problem.
had to, get in here. So I'm still gonna, I mean, I'll be doing my things in the middle of the night, but I'll figure it out some kind of way to get everything in. So guys, if I'm late on the chats and responding and all that, yeah.
No worries. No worries. All
Thank
right.
you.
Thinking about you guys. Stay safe out there, and we'll talk again next
Okay,
week.
Thank
Okay.
you.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.